This video is brought to you by Incogni. Stick around to hear more about their data protection services. Alright, it's been a while since I talked about Celsius Network, but with a Chapter 11 bankruptcy case making its way through the court system right now, and the mother of all I told you so's in the aftermath, I want to once again delve into the company because it is my firm belief that criminal charges should be filed, might be filed, and jail time sentenced. This isn't the first time I've talked about Celsius. Way back in March of 2022, I did a video warning about what seemed to be serious red flags at the company. That video was imperfect, to say the very least, but largely accurate, it turns out. However, that was just the beginning of my history with the company. Celsius didn't like that video, and hyperfixated on one inaccuracy I had made a mistake on. Ignoring the holistic truth of the warning, ignoring that they were indeed on the precipice of financial oblivion, they issued a cease and desist to me. My response? Make the video again, but even better and longer with more information, and double down. That is precisely what I did, and no additional threats came after. The truth is not defamatory. Still, that was just the beginning because when delving deeper into the coverage and working on that follow-up, I connected with a few people who were deeply involved with the story even before me, and who were on the cutting edge of investigating this bloated Ponzi scheme of a network. Those people were Dirty Bubble Media, responsible for effectively breaking the entire story wide open and tracing funds through a whirlwind of obfuscation. Also, the title of this very video is inspired by his work. And Sanji Himura, a crypto analyst who has uncovered extremely interesting details about subjects such as cryptoland and other impropriety in the Web3 ecosystem. Together, mostly just them educating me on the topic, to be honest, but being extremely charitable to myself here, together, we worked on further investigations, and I published numerous additional videos about everything from bad decision-making, like just losing $50 million because you were literally too stupid to read a warning, that happened to Celsius, all the way to impending financial collapse of the entire network. Now, obviously, hindsight being what it is, those concerns were absolutely correct. Official Chapter 11 bankruptcy came in mid-July, but in mid-June, Celsius halted all withdrawals for all of their customers. This not a bank basically told people to pound sand and kept all their money, because there was a massive, $1.2 billion massive to be precise, hole in their balance sheet as a result of sheer, unmitigated idiocy and hubris. I would attribute much, even all of this downfall to one specific man, Alex Mashinsky, and I've talked about that before with his inability to acknowledge faulty predictions as well as what seems like a pathological need to maintain his image. However, having talked about his compulsive lies, his constant manipulations, and a tragic story of misled investors, I wanted to expand on that further because, it turns out, this bankruptcy case has a high probability, in my official opinion, of elevating to actual criminal proceedings. Before going further, a word about today's video sponsor, Incogni. Online security and privacy protection needs a very proactive approach. Every single day, your data is being sold by third-party brokers or accessed without your knowledge in data breaches. Many people may not be fully aware or even care about this, but it's actually a pretty big concern in an ever-advancing online world. Companies maintain a lot of your personal information in their records, and not just the ones you know about or signed up for deliberately, but other data firms as well, who then sell it all across the internet. For everyday users, it's a nearly impossible task to take any action at all because there are hundreds of these data brokers, and it's a lengthy process to contact them, fight objections, and get your data eventually removed. However, Incogni does all of this for you quickly and easily. The process is extremely simple. Sign up for the website, give them specific legal permission to work on your behalf in this regard, and let them know what kind of information they will be having removed. I did this myself, as you can see, and within minutes there were over 100 different requests being sent out to third-party data brokers all over the world, some of which had extremely sensitive information about me, and I had no idea at all. Incogni is going to help me get that information taken down, as per my rights, and I'm extremely grateful for that. It's effortless and affordable, plus it is a service created by a long-standing partner of the channel, Surfshark. The first 100 people to click the link down below in the description and use code Echelon at checkout will get 20% off their subscription to Incogni. Again, link down below and promo code Echelon for the first 100 clickers or viewers who use it to get 20% off their subscription. Big thank you to Incogni for sponsoring the channel. Alright, here's a basic roadmap before we dive into more detail. After this high-profile bankruptcy kicked off, initially, basically everyone started paying attention. More lawsuits got filed by third parties, employees started to leak emails in various different meetings and correspondence, people scoured the blockchain and started to find hidden wallets and transactions from insiders, etc., etc. But to best explain, we need to meet a cast of characters. First is Sanji Himura, whom I've already mentioned. I'll have links to all these people down below, mostly just social media profiles. Sanji was the most recent person I spoke with who underlined a series of wallets that are connected to Alex Mashinsky. Basically, he discovered a money trail. Next is Dirty Bubble Media, or Mike Burgersberg, who was the linchpin to the entire story with comprehensive coverage for many months before the bankruptcy was ever filed. He discovered a variety of things, but most prominently for today, was able to trace large sums of money that had left the Celsius-controlled accounts. After that is CoffeeZilla. I've actually collaborated for a small interview with him directly on prior Celsius coverage, and he was able to find a few things, including money that was liquidated directly before the frozen withdrawals, and constant selling by Alex Mashinsky, who appears to be still dumping his tokens for cash, even while his company is belly up. Lastly, we have Tiffany Fong, who is a prior Celsius customer. She lost, I think, $200,000 on the platform when they shut down for bankruptcy, so it's good that her recent efforts are more in line with scrutinizing the obviously suspect activities of this clearly fucked up company. But yeah, she did fall for it hook, line, and sinker beforehand. Anyway, employees have been sending her insider information, and she's also done some very good work compiling a list of wallets associated with Alex Mashinsky, so that's where we'll logically begin. This right here is the list. Most prominently, it contains discoveries by Sanji Himura and CoffeeZilla as well, which are the wallets we need to focus on. In early October, Alex Mashinsky was called out by a large host of media and influencer personalities for basically pulling out $10 million right before Celsius bit the bullet and went bankrupt, or at least right before they shut down withdrawals. They knew they were bankrupt and they knew about the hole in the balance sheet for a very long time. The CEO of a company who had been frantically screeching about FUD and misinformation and paid bashers and throwing out conspiracy theories that, for instance, I was being paid by someone to ruin Celsius, right up until he drove the company over a cliff, was taking out millions of dollars right before things fell apart, or at least right before the public found out. Great decision, but there's more. After being called out, discovered by CoffeeZilla, he started to just full-scale dump Celsius tokens, hundreds of thousands, into a misguided movement that was just attempting to raise the price of the Cell tokens themselves and help people recover their money. They called it the Cell short squeeze movement, and he systematically began shitting all over their efforts to make even more money. Simultaneously, spread across numerous wallets that are connected to him, these ones discovered by Sanji Himura, big transfers, small transfers, and systematic transfers started occurring. $500,000 here, $100,000 there. Even as recently as 2 days ago, there were sums in the thousands passing through wallets that are allegedly directly connected to Mashinsky himself and unloading to exchanges. For any discerning watcher, this looked like one thing and one thing alone. Mashinsky was liquidating his crypto, and funds were almost certainly still being drained from this maimed Celsius network balance sheet. But wait, there's more. Like a demented infomercial salesman with even less credibility, the Mashinskys are in this together. It turned out that Chrissy Mashinsky, Alex Mashinsky's wife, had liquidated over $2.7 million less than 2 weeks before the withdrawal shutdown. That's the CEO and his wife pulling millions of dollars out of a bankrupt Ponzi scheme directly before it imploded. Still, not done. According to Timothy Cradle, the former director of financial crimes compliance at Celsius, so a notable position there, executives knew about the hole in the balance sheet as far back as early 2021. In the period of time since that awareness became official, Alex Mashinsky has withdrawn $40 million worth of Cell token, often on the exact same exchanges where the company itself was buying the token with customer funds. No matter how you look at this, that's a big yikes. Here is where it obviously starts to look pretty bad. Man drives company to bankruptcy with degen trading strategies, massive risks taken, and Ponzi economics. Man knows the company is down over $1 billion, likely because of his own personal decision-making, and cashes out tens of millions of dollars at the same time. Right before the whole thing blows up, Man and his wife start pulling out everything they can, and when called out for it by the media and influencers, Man doubles down by dumping tokens on a misguided but understandable community movement who just want to try and get something back by raising the token price. I call that evil. However, that was just the shot. Where's the chaser? The chaser is called USA Strong. What is USA Strong, other than a cheesy name, you may ask? Well, I'll show you. It's a cringe-as-fuck merchandise platform founded by none other than Chrissy Mashinsky. So what? Who cares? What does it matter? Well, it matters because while the company was functionally bankrupt, but still taking user money, thanks to a giant document dump by the bankruptcy court, we know this, we now know that it was buying well over $100,000 of shitty merchandise from USA Strong. The CEO of a functionally bankrupt company who was taking money out of that Hindenburg fiasco while the public had no idea makes the company buy tens of thousands of dollars of merchandise from his wife's store. And for one final little smack in the face here, even though it's actually kind of a big deal, the initial slogan of Celsius was unbank yourself. Like, banks are not your friends. We're better than a bank. Put your money with us. Unbank yourself. And now, having gone belly up in bankruptcy court for the world to see, Chrissy Mashinsky is selling a shirt in the USA Strong storefront that reads, unbankrupt yourself. They are actively mocking the community that they ruined by selling joke merchandise from a corrupt company started by the wife of the CEO who ran it all into the ground. You may ask, what's to be done about all this? It's good to rant about it, cathartic even, but what can you really do? And in line with my recent attempts at covering subjects with real impact, we actually can and have done something. There is a court-appointed examiner on the case who is responsible for investigating, well, everything within the scope of whatever is handed down. And while on a call with Sanji Himura, we found her contact details and made her explicitly aware of all of these events. In addition, she has expanded the scope of her examinations to include, quote, the cell token, as well as misrepresentations made by Celsius with regard to stability and appeal. In essence, this investigation now officially includes, from a legal capacity, all of the lies and manipulations by Alex Mashinsky in his Twitter spaces, in the AMAs, in the YouTube videos, and even through email. As uncovered by Tiffany Fong, there were multiple emails being sent to large and small account holders alike, trying to reassure them that everything was safe, even just days before the platform shut down, when Celsius knew that they were bankrupt. Thanks to the expanded scope of the case, all of this is now evidence against them. And that evidence is a fucking mountain. Just one poignant example here to demonstrate, but I really think it's like kind of perfect for the video. At almost the exact same time that he was withdrawing $10 million from a company that he ran into the ground, Alex Mashinsky tweeted, quote, these are hard times for many. I will personally give one of the new Celsius Network users $1,000 this week if you show you opened an account and started hodling to build your financial freedom. All you need to do is be a new user, follow me and Celsius, and post your referral code. End quote. Right as the company was keeling over and bleeding out on the pavement, and he knew this, they all knew this, the CEO was withdrawing and liquidating millions of dollars while telling the public to open accounts and put money into the Ponzi scheme. Breaking script here, he's evil, in my opinion. I view that man to be an incarnation of evil with his wife, who has deliberately harmed a whole lot of people. To a degree where, I mean, people are ruined because of this. Every time I cover it, I see more and more stories that pop up on social media or Reddit. I mean, archive threads. People send me all sorts of things. And it's very clear that you can say that they're dumb for doing this. You can say that someone is an idiot for putting all their money in a sketchy platform like Celsius. But they trusted him. They trusted him because he lied to them. They trusted all the marketing and they trusted all the promises. And now they're ruined. Like, he has destroyed lives. And every single time I cover this topic, I just find myself hating him more. For my own personal thoughts here, it is entirely possible that the Mashinskys are still siphoning money out of this dying company, perhaps through USA Strong, while openly mocking the entire community as they do. I mean, the fact that they have that merchandise in their store, the fact that this woman put it in there, it's unforgivable to me. It's so far beyond the pale of, like, basic decency and basic behavior. It's unbelievable. With the court examination now including misrepresentations to customers and even the cell token itself, and the prior head of financial crimes admitting that the company was blatantly manipulating the price of the cell token for personal gain of the executives, we very well may find an escalation, and I hope we do, to criminal proceedings and charges. I would like to see them both see prison time. Financial crime like this is not heavily punished enough in the United States. I mean, that's obvious, but the scale of this deception and negligence is unbelievable, leading me to the only logical conclusion that they deserve time behind bars and a total asset seizure. Take everything that they own to try and remedy the situation. Take all of their money, everything that they own, liquidate it, give it back to customers. I think that that's the only solution. I doubt it'll actually happen, but it should happen. It remains to be seen what will ultimately happen, but I'm hopeful that there will be life-altering punishment given to the Mashinskys of Celsius Network after they ruined an untold number of lives with their disgusting and completely indefensible actions. That's it. If you want to support, there are links down below, primarily locals and Patreon for a monthly fee. Also Odyssey, a YouTube platform alternative, other creators to check out, merchandise, social media, and the video sponsor. Of course, protect your data, it's worth it, and more. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.